After weeks of rising tension and cryptic posts, things finally exploded between Rasheeda and Yandy, and fans can't believe what just went down. The two women, once seen as pillars of strength and sisterhood in the love and hip-hop circle, were caught in a fiery on-camera exchange that's now making waves across social media. What started as subtle shade turned into a public unraveling of a friendship that many thought was unbreakable. Insiders say the drama began brewing off, but it all came to a head during a group scene that was supposed to be about unity. Instead, it turned into a verbal showdown full of betrayal, accusations, and raw emotions. Fans were left stunned as Rasheeda, usually calm and composed, completely lost her cool, snapping at Yandy in a way no one saw coming. People who were there say the energy shifted instantly, with other cast members frozen in shock as Rasheeda unleashed years of pent-up frustration. What caused such a drastic fallout between these two? Was it jealousy, secrets, or something far deeper? The fallout is messy, and the franchise may never be the same again. Buckle up, this is just the beginning of the drama. It all started during a weekend shoot in Atlanta when the vibe was supposed to be light. Cameras were rolling, drinks were being poured, and most of the cast was laughing and catching up. But something in the air felt off, heavy, awkward, like tension that hadn't been dealt with. Yandy arrived late, rocking her usual flawless glam, but her smile didn't quite reach her eyes. She walked in, waved at the group, and sat down away from Rasheeda, who was already posted up with her girls. That move alone got people whispering. Even the crew noticed the cold energy between the two women who were once like sisters. Rasheeda. Never one to let awkwardness linger. Made a passive comment about loyalty and how some folks forget where they came from once the lights hit them. She didn't say a name, but the room knew who she meant. Yandy didn't bite at first. She kept scrolling through her phone, sipped her drink, and acted but her silence wasn't peace, it was pressure, and everyone could feel it building. The moment hit when someone brought up a charity event that Yandy was recently praised for. Rasheeda cut in, laughing slightly, saying, "It's funny how folks out here doing charity for cameras but can't check on their real friends in real life." The silence that followed was thick. Yandy looked up slowly, locked eyes with Rasheeda, and said, "You really want to do this right now?" Rasheeda stood up, calmly adjusting her outfit. "Nah, I should have done it a long time ago." It was on from that moment. Crew members shifted, ready for anything. Producers leaned in, not daring to yell, "Cut." This was the moment they had sensed coming but hoped would never explode like this. "You changed," Rasheeda said, walking closer. "You used to be solid. Now you just pick and choose who's convenient for the storyline." Yandy didn't flinch. She stood up to staring her down. "And you've been playing boss lady so long you forgot how to be a friend? You out here trying to run everybody's life like you the queen of the show." Rasheeda scoffed. "Nah, I just don't kiss ass. You forgot who had your back when the whole internet turned on you. I defended you. I stood by you. And you repaid me by sneak dissing me in interviews and linking with people I don't mess with." Yandy's voice raised. "You defended me for clout. Don't act like you were some ride or die. You needed a storyline just like the rest of us, and my pain was convenient." Those words hit Rasheeda different. Her face tightened, her jaw clenched. "Convenient," she repeated, stepping closer. You sat on my couch crying, and I opened my home to you. I introduced you to people, helped you rebrand, and now I'm convenient. Their argument pulled in the entire cast. Carly Red covered her mouth in shock. Spice looked like she wanted to disappear, and even Bambi shook her head. No one expected it to get this deep, this fast. You've been fake for months. Rasheeda continued, her voice shaking, not with fear, but rage. But I stayed silent to protect our bond. Now, I'm done protecting people who don't protect me. Yandy raised her chin. Maybe you should have said something sooner instead of smiling in my face and talking behind my back. Rasheeda snapped back. You ain't been worth the talk. Everyone sees it. You changed. It wasn't just about one event or one moment. It was years of history between them unraveling in real time. Behind the scenes, insiders say this beef had been building for a while. They'd grown distant, and fans had already started picking up on the shade online. Now, it was out in the open for everyone to witness. You act like you're better than everybody? Yandy said, her voice louder now. But you stuck in this idea of being the first lady of Atlanta. Newsflash times changed. People ain't scared of, more. Rasheeda laughed bitterly. Scared of me? Girl, you scared of losing relevance. That's why you clinging to fake friendships and running to the blogs with half. One of the producers tried to interrupt, offering to pause the scene, but both women waved them off. They weren't done. You want the real, Rasheeda said. The real is I've been peeped your moves. You smile and hug me in public, but you running around filming with people who've been trying to tear me down. You think that's loyalty? Yandy didn't deny it. She looked straight at her and said, I did what I had to do to tell my story. I ain't responsible for your feelings. That line hit like a slap. Rasheeda's eyes narrowed. Nah, see? That right there. That's why we done. Because real friends don't just think about themselves. The room was silent again, like everyone was scared to breathe too loud. No one expected it to get this personal. But now there was no turning back. A cast member off to the side muttered, Yo, this is wild. The cameras kept rolling as Yandy grabbed her purse. You don't gotta worry about me ever again, she said. Keep your fake energy. I'm good. She started walking out, but Rasheeda wasn't done. That's right. Walk away like you always do. Run from accountability like you run from real conversations. Yandy turned around, eyes full of fire. The only thing I'm running from is fake love and fake loyalty. When she was gone, Rasheeda stood there for a second like she was trying to collect herself. Then she sat down, breathing heavily. Someone brought her water, but she waved it off. I just can't believe it had to come to this, she said under her breath. I really thought she was different. The rest of the cast sat frozen, unsure what to say. The cameras caught every tear that Rasheeda fought back, every slight tremble in her voice. This wasn't acting. This wasn't production stirring the pot. This was raw. Word traveled fast. By the time filming wrapped that night, social media was already buzzing. Someone from set had leaked a grainy snippet of Yandy storming off and Rasheeda yelling after her. Blogs jumped on it instantly, with headlines like Rasheeda and Yandy friendship over and LHHATL feud turns explosive on camera. Fans flooded the comments, picking sides, dissecting every frame. Some blamed Yandy for being disloyal, Others said Rasheeda was too controlling. But everyone agreed on one thing: it was the most real moment the show had delivered in years. Meanwhile, both women stayed quiet online. No posts, no stories, no comments. Just silence. And in that silence, fans started digging deeper. Old clips, research. People were connecting dots, pointing out subtle digs and shady moments from the past that now made more sense. It was like the veil had been lifted, and what was once seen as sisterhood was now exposed as something far more complicated behind the scenes. Crew members whispered about what had happened. One insider claimed that neither Yandy nor Rasheeda spoke to anyone after filming. Another said Rasheeda broke down crying in her dressing room. Producers were apparently scrambling to decide how much of the confrontation they could legally air. Some believed the network would try to edit it down, soften the blow. But others argued this was too big to hide. And then, out of nowhere, a tweet went viral from someone claiming to be close to the situation. It read, "They've been beefing since last season. Yandy felt betrayed and Rasheeda been done." The show just caught up to the real life. Thousands of likes, retweets, and comments followed. People were ready for part 2, for the full truth. But the question on everyone's mind was, how deep does this fallout really go? And who else knew this friendship had already fallen apart long before the cameras caught it? The days following the explosive fallout between Rasheeda and Yandy were anything but calm. Although both stayed silent online, the internet was far from quiet. Fans turned into investigators, posting side-by-side screenshots of past interactions, zooming into body language, analyzing quotes from months ago, and digging up podcast interviews where subtle shade now looked like full-blown betrayal clips. Of their last joint appearance on a panel where Yandy had cut Rasheeda off mid-sentence and laughed awkwardly when someone brought up their bond. At the time, no one thought much of it. Now, it was being played in slow motion with captions like, "The beginning of the end, beginning of the end." Backstage gossip from crew members started leaking into fan blogs. One anonymous source claimed that during the confrontation, production had quietly pulled security closer, not knowing if things would escalate physically. Another claimed that after Yandy left, Rasheeda locked herself in a dressing room and refused to film for the rest of the night. Word on set was that Mona Scott herself was alerted about the situation and was trying to decide whether to spin it for the season storyline or try to control the narrative before it went nuclear. A few days later, Yandy was spotted at an upscale restaurant in New York with another former LHHATL cast member who also had past beef with Rasheeda. Fans quickly screen capped the encounter and posted it with captions like, "Yandy building her army. An enemy of my enemy is my lunch date." Meanwhile, Rasheeda stayed in Atlanta, surrounded by her close circle, but even that began to crack. A friend of hers posted a cryptic message on Instagram that read, "Loyalty without boundaries is how you get played," followed by a broken heart emoji. Speculation exploded. Was Rasheeda losing more than just one friendship? Then came the leaked voice note. A blurred out audio clip was posted by a fan page claiming to have gotten it from someone who worked in production. In the clip, a voice that sounded eerily like Yandy could be heard saying, "She wants to act like the Queen of Atlanta, but forgets I built my own empire before I ever met her." While the authenticity was never confirmed, It lit social media on fire. Hashtags like hashtag Empire vs ThrowNS and hashtag LHHATL War began trending overnight. Everyone had a take, and no one was holding back. But the drama wasn't just online. It spilled into real life during the filming of a group scene scheduled weeks after the blow-up. The cast was brought together for a charity fashion event hosted by Spice. It was meant to be lighthearted, fun, and philanthropic. Instead, it turned into a silent war zone. Yandy walked in first, her head held high, acting unbothered, laughing with a few background cast members. Rasheeda came in next, looking regal but ice cold. The two women made no effort to greet each other. The tension was visible in every camera angle. Producers had hoped the setting would soften the energy, maybe even open the door for resolution. But that hope shattered when Spice tried to make a toast, thanking everyone for showing up. In her speech, she mentioned unity and friendship and how important it was to lift each other up. It was innocent, but the timing couldn't have been worse. Yandy clapped slowly, sarcastically, and muttered loud enough for the mic to catch. Some friendships ain't worth lifting. Rasheeda heard it. Everyone did. The moment froze. Spice awkwardly smiled and tried to keep going, but Rasheeda interrupted her. You got something to say yet? Or you just here to be cute and petty? Gasps went around the table. Yandy didn't hesitate. Oh, now you want to talk? Because last time you talked, you said we were done. I'm just respecting your boundaries. Rasheeda shook her head. Respect? Girl, you don't even respect yourself, let alone friendships. The room fell into stunned silence again. Cameras zoomed in on cast members covering their mouths or shifting uncomfortably in their seats. Bambi leaned over to Spice and whispered, "This about to get ugly again." And it did. You always acting like you're above everybody, Yandy said, standing now. But truth is, you just scared of losing the control you think you have. Rasheeda stayed seated, but her tone was sharp. Nah. See, I'm just tired of fake friends with real egos. I let you slide too many times. Now I see you for what you are. Before producers could cut the cameras, Yandy pulled out her phone and started scrolling. You remember this? She asked, turning the phone to Rasheeda. Whatever was on that screen, Rasheeda's eyes narrowed instantly. You really pulling out receipts? She asked. We doing this now? Yandy didn't answer. She just held the phone up again. This is a message from you 2 months ago, saying how proud you were of me, how much you loved me. But now, I'm the villain. Rasheeda stood slowly. Yeah, I said that. Before I realized you were smiling in my face and filming scenes with people, tried to hurt me. You ain't slick. Yandy laughed bitterly. So, I'm supposed to ask you permission before I breathe now. Rasheeda clapped back. You supposed to have my back? But loyalty don't mean nothing to you unless it benefits you. Spice stepped in, trying to calm things down, but the damage was already done. The event dissolved into whispers, cities, and tension so thick it was almost unwatchable. Producers eventually called it a wrap and told everyone to leave before it escalated further. Behind the scenes, more chaos was brewing. Another crew member leaked that a private conversation between two cast members revealed Yandy had already reached out to Mona about having her own spin-off to clear her name. The revelation sent shockwaves. Rasheeda found out during a confessional shoot and reportedly lost it. She called it a betrayal beyond TV. She claimed that Yandy was trying to flip the narrative and throw her under the bus just to build her own platform. One of the producers asked her if she would be willing to film a sit-down with Yandy for the sake of the season. Rasheeda's response: "I ain't sitting down with nobody who sees friendship as a marketing strategy." At the same time, Yandy released a cryptic post on her Instagram story. It was a black screen with white text that said, "Sometimes the people you fight for the hardest end up being the ones who leave you bleeding." No names were mentioned, but the message was loud. Fans started replying with fire emojis, hearts, and thousands of Some said she was being real. Others said she was deflecting guilt, but no one could deny this feud had gone beyond reality TV. It had become deeply personal. Then came the blogger receipts. One popular Atlanta blogger released a voice note from a source close to Yandy, claiming that she had warned producers weeks before the fight that Rasheeda had been acting cold and might try something for the cameras. The same source also claimed Yandy had already filmed 2 solo confessionals trashing Rasheeda before the big blowout even happened. People now started questioning if Yandy had planned this all along to create a dramatic exit or storyline boost. Was this just a fedora? Was it a calculated take? Rasheeda, on the other hand, finally broke her silence through a long caption on her latest post. She uploaded a picture of herself with her kids, looking peaceful, and wrote, "I've always stood 10 toes down for the people I love. I don't do clout. I don't do fake. If you ever crossed me, you crossed yourself." Period. The post got flooded with comments, some supportive, others questioning why she wouldn't just speak openly. But one thing was clear: both women were now in full damage control mode. As the reunion approached, producers were scrambling. They wanted both women to show up, to sit across from each other and address everything, but sources revealed that Rasheeda had given an ultimatum. She would not be ambushed. If Yandy's there, I better know about it in advance. I'm not doing no fake surprise TV. Yandy, meanwhile, had her own list of demands. She wanted final approval on her footage and editing. That alone raised eyebrows. Was she trying to hide something? All of this behind the scenes chaos only fueled fan interest. Blogs posted countdowns to the reunion. Forums lit up with theories. Group chats were on fire. And both fan bases were sharpening their claws. Everyone knew something explosive was about to go down. What they didn't know was how many other cast members were about to get pulled into the drama and how far both women were willing to go to defend their truth. The reunion day finally arrived, and the energy on set was thick with tension. Producers had separated the cast into different green rooms, not just for convenience but for safety. Yandy arrived early, dressed in a sleek, all-black outfit with dramatic makeup and an icy expression. She walked in with her head held high, her phone in hand, barely speaking to anyone except her manager and stylist. Her team whispered around her, reviewing talking points, making sure her image stayed intact. Yandy wasn't just here to defend herself, she was here to dominate across the building. Rasheeda sat in silence, sipping tea and scrolling through messages on her phone. Her mood was calm but distant. Even her usual glam squad noticed the change in her. She wasn't laughing, wasn't joking, just focused. When her assistant asked if she was ready, Rasheeda replied, "I was born ready, but that don't mean I'm here for the bullshit." As the cameras rolled, the host welcomed everyone and tried to warm the crowd. Things started light with clips from earlier in the season, funny moments behind the scenes, bloopers, but everyone knew what was coming when the host finally said, "Now, let's talk about the breakdown between two of the most iconic women on this stage, Yandy and Rasheeda." The entire set shifted. Eyes widened, hands tensed. Even background cast members leaned forward, bracing for impact. Impact. Yandy and Rasheeda sat on opposite sides of the couch, far apart, with a few neutral castmates in between. The host turned to Yandy first. "What went wrong?" he asked, his tone gentle but firm. Yandy crossed her legs and sighed. "I think people outgrow each other. Sometimes it don't have to be this whole dramatic thing. But when people start feeling threatened by your growth, they turn cold." Rasheeda smirked slightly, but said nothing. The host looked over. "Rasheeda, you've heard what she said. Do you feel threatened by Yandy's growth?" She laughed dryly. "Nah, not even a little. But I do feel disappointed, and I feel disrespected. I supported her through things that people don't even know about. And instead of honesty, I got side moves and sneak disloyalty." Yandy raised an eyebrow. "Side moves," she repeated. "So working with someone on a scene is betrayal now?" Rasheeda leaned in. "Nah. Not the scene. The lies behind the scenes. The planning. The fake crying. All that." The host tried to redirect, but it was too late. Yandy clapped back. "Fake crying. Girl, your whole brand is crying in confessionals and then acting hard in group scenes. Miss me with that. Bambi." Bambi jumped in, trying to cool it down. "Can we just acknowledge that both of y'all clearly felt hurt?" But Rasheeda wasn't hearing it. "Nah, because hurt would have been a conversation. I got silence. And then I got stabbed in the back while she's smiling in my face." Yandy's voice grew sharper. "You ain't the victim here. Stop playing that role. You treated me like a sidekick, and the moment I stood on my own, you couldn't handle it." "Stood on your own?" Rasheeda laughed. "You stood on my back to climb. Don't forget, who put you on game when you came to Atlanta?" The audience gasped. Even the host looked shook. "Are you saying you made Yandy?" he asked. Rasheeda didn't blink. "I'm saying she wouldn't have the Canucks she got in this city if it wasn't for me. I opened doors she walked through and slammed them behind her." Yandy's face turned serious. "Nah, see, you did favors with string. Every nice thing came with a price. That ain't real love. That's manipulation. Call it what you want," Rasheeda replied. "But I never threw you to the wolves for camera time. I never plotted confessionals behind your back. And I damn sure never tried to make you look crazy just to get my own spin-off." A murmur ran through the audience. The spin-off accusation hit hard. The host jumped in. "Yandy, did you ask for a spin-off?" She shrugged. "Yeah, I had a meeting. I have ideas. Why wouldn't I?" Rasheeda cut her off. "You ain't tell me about that, though. And you ain't tell me them ideas involve dragging my name," Yandy snapped. "Your name drags itself. I don't gotta do nothing." The room fell dead silent. Just then, the producers played a previously unaired clip. It was from weeks before the blow-up. Yandy and another cast member were sitting in a car talking about alliances Yandy said, Rasheeda thinks this show can't run without her. Maybe it's time we show her otherwise. The clip played out in full. The expressions on everyone's faces shifted. Rasheeda turned slowly toward Yandy, so that's what it was. A takedown mission. Yandy tried to explain. It was out of context. We were joking, but Rasheeda wasn't having it. Nah, you weren't joking. You were plotting. Now, the truth's finally spilling. Even the host looked uncomfortable. This is a lot. Do y'all even want to fix this? Yandy looked down, visibly emotional now. I didn't want it to go this far. I really didn't, but I felt like I was drowning in someone else's shadow. And when I tried to speak up, I was punished for it. Rasheeda's voice cracked slightly. You could have just talked to me. I would have listened. You didn't have to turn this into a war. Tears welled up in Yandy's eyes. I didn't know how to. Every time I tried, it felt like I had to be who you wanted me to be. And I lost myself. A hush fell over the stage for the first time. The anger softened into something else, sadness. Regret, but just as the energy began to shift, another cast Materica spoke up from the couch. Can I say something? The host nodded. I love both of y'all, and watching this hurts. But if we're being real, it's been coming. People been walking on eggshells around y'all for months. It was only a matter of time. Yandy looked surprised. Eggshells. Erica nodded. Yeah? Because no one wanted to get caught in the middle. And now we all are. The host asked, so what happens now? But neither Yandy nor Rasheeda answered Dot. Instead, they both sat in silence, the tension replaced by exhaustion. The crew called for a break, and everyone slowly began to exit the stage. Dot. Back in the dressing rooms, producers were trying to calm everyone down. Yandy paced in her heels, wiping tears while talking to her manager. I didn't want it to go viral like this, she said. I wanted to clear the air, not burn the whole forest. Meanwhile, Rasheeda sat with Kirk, who had quietly arrived backstage. You good? He asked her gently. Rasheeda nodded, but her voice was shaky. I'm tired of always being the strong one. I really loved her like a sister. Now I feel stupid. Kirk leaned in. Maybe it's just the cameras. Maybe off camera. Y'all can find your way back. Rasheeda didn't respond. Her face said it all. She didn't believe that bridge could ever be rebuilt. Outside the studio, paparazzi had gathered. Fans were chanting both women's names. And Twitter was exploding with clips already leaking. Hashtags like hashtag Rasheeda Yandy reunion and hashtag LHHATL destruction were trending worldwide. One user posted, this reunion more intense than a Marvel finale. Others demanded that the network release the full uncut footage. And in the middle of all this chaos, one final leak hit the blogs. A screenshot of a group chat between several cast members showed a message where someone wrote, Mona said if they don't resolve this on camera, one of them getting dropped next season. The firestorm had just begun. Both Yandy and Rasheeda were now at risk of losing it all, not just each other. Radi Ho Jiao Bai Bolna Hai 2 Part 4 Lik Dita Hoon. Final 1500 words of the main body. Firusk Bad CTA Karinj Jai Stumna Bola Thabohar fans Kasho Rab Be Dinazyada Ho Chuka Tha K Security KOX Agars Bulan Pad के हरचोय या जाना चाहता था के सेट्स के अंदर किया हो रहा हाई और काई आ ये हुदो नो कबीफा ई के फ्रेम माइन nazar aye leakin studio candor cheesing or biziara intense hochuki. The producers desperately chait the kidono ladies EC final confrontation Corinne Takoi clarity a leakin ya kissy b angle say easy nahi lagraha Yandy mir kasamne haditi apna makeup retouch cart hue askiankan ke nich halke dikrahi sehi or stress ka asar sof nazar asar sof nazar a raha stylisto neus sibucha. You sure you wanna go back out there? Yandy, ni jere sansli or bola. I'm not doing this for them. I'm doing it for me. I need to end this my way. Jusurita Rasheeda. Dressing room. Kei corner main chap. Beithi. Ti. Kirk adalah. Uska hate. Pakarku. Kahajo. Bi. Tu. Kena. Chati. Hai. Baldu, Warna, Ye Saptere, and Rei, Jaya Yega, Rasheeda Nui, Ankom Main, Anshu Onke O, Rokune Kei, Koshishiu Kei, Menkabi Nahi Sochi Sakeya Dasti, Yahantak Pohage Ja. Few minutes, Bad, final segment Shukar and K like as Kayawapos, Bulaya, Lights Dabara, Brightway. Cameras ni record karna shuru Kia or host ni calmly announce Kia. This is the last chance for resolution if it's even possible. Yandy or Rasheeda Donanik barfir apasi couches parbaf chuki Reking ISS ba UNKI body language Main NA Gusati HANA tantsu Sif takante hosto any iku esu chompucha. Do either of you have anything left to say? Kuch lam hon ta dono shup rahi fir Yandy ni angkang main onsu lai bona shuru kia main kabinai chahake hum dushman panjunai. I really thought we were sisters, but somewhere along the way, everything got messy. Maybe I should have communicated better. Maybe I let pride get in the way. Rasheeda adalah huskitaraf dekakache sekasocha firosen bibola. I'm hurt, but I'm not heartless. I know I'm not perfect. Maybe I expected too much from you, but my loyalty was real. Yandy ni dirse kaha. Mine was, yeah. What? Simpuru laftu setto mai ii case to renji siren suru ai. Audience expect karahiti fireworks. Ikan mila ek moment of raw honesty. Host ni. Softly kaha. Is this the end of your friendship? Rasheeda niangkan. Maindika or kaha. I don't know. Maybe this chapter is. But the book ain't finished. Yandy hokse muskura ayirekin USS maskura hato maindado. THA producers ni segment rapkia. Leakin. High cameras. Band hue. Backstage drama ni fias se ang dai. Ek junior producer ni galti se unedited footage blog. KOB. Jahan dikaya. Gaya kedono ladies. Ke beach ke arguments kafi edit kiye gete tok ek particular narrative banaya Jasake? As is leak ni social media ko or b garam ka dia fans divided hoge kuho Yandy kai sapoto mainte kuch Rasheeda kahika fan ni tweets kaya. They played both these women. Production used their friendship for ratings. Dusre nyuiriha, Yandy was fake from day one. Rasheeda tried to be loyal. Magarasli shoktab ea jab ek anonymous source ni claim. Kia ke network ni intentionally in dono ke beach kirif ke obada chadheg dikaya kia kyan kia kya shakeup plan ho raha or IS's ke tahatser ek ke odobara contract. Milna THA.AB. Dono ke agents alar hoge Yandy ke timadala legal review shurukar. Dia jab Rasheeda ni ik statement release. Kiajit, I never signed up to be manipulated for ratings. My truth is my own. Dono ki social media timelines filled hoge not just with fan comments, bulke reality TV insiders k cryptic posts, b same. EK former cast member ni post kia ain't no loyalty in reality. It's all lights, lies, and contracts. In Sabkudarmian Ekchoti clip viral, Bijizmin Rasheeda or Yandy Set Chadni Se Pehal Ek Duser KPO Ek Duser KPO or Yandy Ni Basitna Kaha. I'm sorry. For real. Rasheeda enui deka kuch nahibola baser hila dia isis quiet moment. Ni fans ka. Dil chu lia log can lage. Maybe they'll find their way back. Likin dono ki donea AB beto chuki or chehi cameras band ho chuk they likin joe damage huath. Wahar jaga eko karahata. Headlines main time. Dines main. Orphans K. Dylan Main. Isis. Pori Kahani. Ni Surf Ek. Dosti K. Tuten. K Esos. Nahi Daya. Balkai. Reality. Tifi Ki S. Dunia Ka Ek. Jalak Be Diha. Dia Jahan. Loyalty Ike. Contract Se Kam Hoti Hai. Or drama hai sabs. Body currency. Hoti hai. Rasheeda or Yandika, yeah, fallout, simple misunderstanding. Nahi yetadu strong women, ka-e emotional breakdown. Jahan Harlafs, kapiche itin. Sol kidasti dafanti. Unk beach, Joe science, raha. Ush, shiad. Sabziada. Kuchkid fans. Abitek confused. Henkia, ya subscripted ta, ya sachkaek, pelujo, kamras pargolti, serekord ho gaya, or sabs beta, sawala ya, haike, kia ya dosti, kabi wapas ban, ya, chapter AB, hamisha ke liban, ho gaya, hi, lekin, ek, cheese, to paki high love, and hip hop kaya season waka sabziada shokin ban gaya ha fans divided hain truth AB blur high or emotions horror episode K-bot or intense hotes ja rahe hain dot AB bot apki high opikia soho rahi hain kia Rasheeda ni sai Kia, Yandika, Pain, Genuine ta Kaya Production, NE, Sabu Kukko Manipulate, Ki, Ya, Serve, Such, Dikaya Gaya. Niche comment section main, Apni opinion zero, Ura, Share Kari, Agar, Opko, Ya, Drama Ni, Engage Kia Ho, to like Kabato or channel KO subscribe Karintak Opgo next Shocking update Sabs Pahel Mayo. Kyunki? Ya kahani katan. Nahi? Huya? Surf? Shurua